Secretary of Health and Human Services Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is apparently looking to do some eugenics. Yes, against people with autism. On Sunday, he likened autism to an epidemic and claimed that it is far worse to have autism than to have COVID 19. Now, COVID 19 has killed millions of people. I don't think anybody has died from autism. Okay. Now, he also claimed that the pure economic cost of autism will cost the United States $1 trillion a year in lost productivity by 2035. So, his perspective, of course, is all economic. It's a neurotypical economic perspective that boils people's worth down to how productive they are for someone else, how good they are at making money for rich people. So, oh, great. F this guy already. So he says this: autism affects children and affects them at the beginning of their lives, the beginning of their productivity. It dwarfs the COVID epidemic and the impacts on our country because COVID killed old people. COVID didn't just kill old people. I'm just going to say that. It didn't just kill old people. All right. Now, he added that autism is absolutely debilitating for them, their families, their communities. There are kids who will never pay taxes. They'll never hold a job. They'll never play baseball. They'll never write a poem. They'll never go out on a date. Many of them will never use a toilet unassisted. Okay, that is definitely not true. There are plenty of autistic people who hold jobs, pay taxes, go on dates, get married, live fulfilling lives. All right, so you're just BSing on that one. And by the way, even if you don't work, even if you're nonverbal, you can still live a good, fulfilling life. Basically, he's just basing all of this on how autism affects him, okay, and other neurotypical people. That's the perspective here. He's saying that they're inconvenient. And when you start saying things like that, it's not a long road to get to where they should be eliminated. Okay? You can't get rid of autism. You're not going to get rid of autism, but what you will do if you go down that road is get rid of autistic people, and that is eugenics. That is eugenics. Elizabeth McClellan, an autistic poet and attorney, called RFK Jr.'s remarks, quote, useless eaters rhetoric, which is a eugenicist idea used by the Nazis in 1930s to dehumanize and eventually murder disabled people. Oh, because they're eaters. Oh, okay. Now, RFK Jr. has also suggested autism is a result of environmental factors and vaccines, which it is not. That Wakefield study has been debunked so many different times. It's essentially a zombie study that the anti-vaxxers keep bringing back. And what it says also is that they would rather have children that are dead, or, and this point I don't think gets harped on enough as well, a lot of these childhood diseases can permanently disable someone for the rest of their lives. Okay? They would rather have that and the chance of being permanently disabled by some of these old-timey diseases they keep bringing back than to have an autistic child who may need a little bit more help and a little bit more understanding than the average neurotypical kid. Oh, yeah. Now, RFK Jr. said, well, no, I'm not talking about all autistic people, of course, just the ones that have the profound autism. He said, quote, many of these kids are aging out and their parents worry every day. And I'm talking about people with severe autism. Look, it's a spectrum, okay? But he calls that profound autism, which is about 26% of the total people who are diagnosed with autism. Those families, those children are nonverbal, they're non-toilet trained. They have all the stereotypical features of autism: head banging, toe walking, stimming, agonizing gut pain, and head banging. Once again, bringing up the head banging. Those kids are kids that will not hold jobs. Oh, so that's what you're worried about. Oh, they're not going to be productive, and make money for for a capitalist. Oh, great. Hey, you know what? Those kids should be able to get the therapies and things that will actually help them to live fulfilling lives. Yes, there are different strategies. There are different programs that that are created to help people with autism live good lives. That's what we should be focused on, helping them. But no, that is not what RFK Jr. is about. Look, they need love, understanding, acceptance for being different. Uh, they're not getting that with RFK Jr. Okay. So now that said, he got a ton of flack for these ridiculous statements, rightfully so. In fact, Autism Society in America, of America president and CEO Christopher Banks said in response to these comments, quote, autism is not an epidemic, nor should it be compared to the COVID-19 pandemic, and using language like that perpetuates falsehoods, stigma, and stereotypes. Gwen Walz, wife of Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, said this, quote, this is deeply unsettling, especially coming from our nation's highest-ranking health official. Individuals with autism are family, neighbors, students, and coworkers, and they contribute more to this nation than this man ever will. Yeah, especially contributing something positive, okay? I'm not saying anything positive now out of RFK Jr. To say this kind of crap about people with autism or who are neurodivergent is just absolutely disgusting. As a neurodivergent person myself, I have ADHD. Most of the people that I interact with on a daily basis, friends, family members, they're neurodivergent as well. And they're some of the best, brightest, and most empathetic and honest people that you could ever imagine, oftentimes to a fault. Okay? To say this, it's disgusting. It's just absolutely disgusting, and I hate it. Now, he also claimed that there were no older autistic adults out there, which is, again, not true at all. Odds are they never got diagnosed, but they're absolutely out there. Again, this is genetic. So it exists in families. Their health outcomes have been studied for years. According to Mother Jones, autistic elderly people are at a greater risk than the general population for a range of different health conditions, including cardiovascular and metabolic disease, and they're also more likely to suffer from anxiety and depression. Older autistic adults also report loneliness at higher rates than the general population. Now, wait a minute, you might ask, doesn't that mean that RFK Jr. might have a little bit of a point? No. Current research suggests that many of them could benefit from the social services and support they do not currently receive. So that's it. That's one of the big changes here. We have failed older autistic generations, and we were finally starting to get things right in that regard as far as serving and helping autistic kids. But then the brainworm had to come in and ruin everything. This guy knows so little about autism and autistic adults, and that's, of course, because of the people that he hangs around. People like Dr. Walter Zarodny, who has collaborated with researchers and groups who deal with pseudoscience. For example, he appeared in a 2018 video produced by Safe Minds, a group that has suggested that mercury in the vaccines causes autism. It doesn't. And regularly works with Kennedy's anti-vax group, Children's Health Defense. In 2020, he also co-authored a study of autism rates in Black and Hispanic children with Cynthia Navizin, a University of Colorado climate scientist who is also a contributor to the Children's Health Defense. In addition, he appeared on a 2020 episode of the podcast produced by the National Council on Severe Autism, which has come under fire for its support of the use of restraints for autistic people. That is extremely inhumane. Using restraints against their will. No, this whole thing feels like eugenics, with the addition of course, the demonization of vaccines. There's no real link to that. But look, the result of all this is going to harm the most vulnerable people, not just kids who are going to get sick and die from childhood diseases because of the anti-vax. That's already happening. Look at Texas and other places. But also those with autism will get demonized and stigmatized as well, and will no longer be able to access the help that they deserve. And so that's the result of all this stuff. And it's an incredibly unfortunate direction for us to head. I mean, you think we're failing, we were failing autistic people before, now we're failing them even more. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.